I keep going back and forth on whether or not I want to actually talk about this whole like r/anti-work movement and like the whole Fox News like interview with Jesse Waters. Like, oh man, that interview was brutal. It's brutal to watch. And honestly, I don't even know if it's the guy's fault who got interviewed. I don't even know his name, but apparently he's like the moderator of the r/Reddit AntiWork subreddit, right? So Fox News does this whole interview with Jesse Waters, who I'm gonna say, Jesse Waters, his degree of education, sure, it's an Ivy League, but I just want to put it out there, this dude has a bachelor's in history. That's it. As far as his like Wikipedia page, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm not gonna deep dive Jesse Waters because I do not care about this dude at all. But this dude's degree is in history. Now, I don't know about you, but as someone who actually attended college and knows about like a degree in history, it's pretty much you learning about history. It's not a STEM degree like computer science or engineering where it's something you apply. It's basically you're an historian. That's it. You either become a teacher or you do an off branch of like archaeology or something like that. I don't know, whatever. But this dude goes and interviews this moderator from the AntiWork subreddit, and immediately, like he there's no intent of trying to figure out what is the whole subreddit, the culture of this. Like, why was this subreddit actually made? There's no attempt in trying to do this. It was from the very get-go. Jesse Waters is just laughing at the guy. The guy is like he's not really taking the questions, like his questions seriously. He's basically just looking at the guy and thinking, okay, this guy wants free money. He wants a handout from the government. And like, what is this guy's credentials? And then he goes and asks him, what do you do? What do you do? Man, that is the most American question I've ever heard in my life. Anywhere outside of America, like I know for sure in Europe, like in some parts of Europe at least, like the question is never, hey Josh, how are you doing? Oh, what do you do for a living? No. It's like, oh hey, how have you been? Been eating well? You look thin. Are you anorexic? I don't know. Who knows? No, in America it's, hey, I haven't seen you in a long time. What do you do these days? It's the job is your identity. It's so freaking weird, man. And this guy, Jesse Waters, straight up goes to this guy and asks him, what do you do? And of course the guy's response, I mean, you see the video and the background, it's not clean, it's not tidied up. The guy from the subreddit, the moderator guy, he's not really dressed to impress type of situation. The guy straight up, so you have a guy in a hoodie and a guy in a $2,000 suit, probably tailored, maybe Versace, I don't know. I don't want to discriminate, but whatever. Straight up classism against this guy. The moderator says his job is a dog walker. A dog walker. Of all the people to ask about anti-work, the guy says he's a dog walker. And that's when the credibility of the person just demolishes. Man, I don't know. It's when I think about it, it's just, why? Like, what is the guy job? What does the guy's job have to do with anything of what the subreddit's culture is trying to advocate for? Like, it's not, and the people who are in the subreddit, it's not really people who are like, I want free money now, give me handouts and all that. No, it's people who are looking for job reform. Straight up, this interview is a complete trap. It's basically to put down people who are just trying to look at work as a means to survive, not a means to basically not their identity. You look at Star Trek, I'm going to be nerdy for a second. If you look at Star Trek, Captain Picard doesn't introduce himself as, hi, I'm the captain of the flagship Enterprise. So what do you do? No, the dude is like, I'm an not anthropologist, Jesus. Oh my god, brain fart. Archaeologist. Jeez, oh my god. Captain Picard introduces himself as an archaeologist every single time. Like, as far to him, as like for him, archaeology is his identity. He is an archaeologist, and he loves exploring space and all that because that is who he is. So, 60 Minutes, all right? 60 Minutes, they do a piece. It's like they did a piece about the whole why Americans choose to quit their jobs type thing, and I don't know, like I thought it was really fascinating. Specifically, some of the people that they brought on. One person in particular is from LinkedIn, their chief economist, Karen Kimbrough. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. So Karen Kimbrough goes and she's basically asked all these questions about, you know, like what is she like, she's part of LinkedIn, like she knows the ins and outs of LinkedIn. She has their data. What are they finding? And immediately they're saying that like baby boomers are retiring earlier than like, you know, basically the average Joe, I guess. Which, now that I'm thinking about it, like, I mean, baby boomers were like 1940s. My parents were baby boomers, and they were like in their 70s. And I'm just like, wait, are you telling me retiring in their 70s is weird? Like, what the hell? Wait, is that? I have no idea. Man, America it's on fire, people. It's on fire. If 70 is too early, what is too late? Jesus. But she also says that a lot of Gen Zers are quitting in record numbers. I have no idea what Gen Zers means, but she brought it up, so she probably knows what that means. Anybody knows what that means, let me know. As far as I know, it's not my I'm not a Zer. I'm a what, an Xer, a millennialer? I don't know, whatever. But anyways, the government right now, like they've been tracking like all these like quit rates and all that, and like they're just showing that people are quitting in massive amounts. Like, ever since they've started keeping track, more people are quitting their jobs. And according to Karen Kimbrough, like the industries that are actually quitting are retail and hospitality. So what does that mean? Like so you have these situations where it's like, okay, like we're in the middle of COVID. Like, let's be honest. Like, you can be anti-COVID and all that, but deep down, like, just like everyone who's afraid of a bullet, you're gonna be afraid of a virus you can't see. And if you really think about it, let's say you're someone who works at McDonald's, for instance. Like, you're a drive-through like person working there, I guess. I don't know. I've never worked at McDonald's. I don't know what they're called, so bear with me here. Those people, like, on average, I think they see about 200 people a day. Now imagine playing Russian roulette with 200 people coming to you every single day. That's a bullet waiting to be chambered right there, you know? So what is the movement like all about? Like, we're starting to get, like, you know, people are starting to ever since COVID, you know, people are working from home. People are starting to realize that, wait a second, like, employers don't have a lot of, you know, like, why do the employers have all the power? Like, why do I have to sacrifice my life? And if you really think about it, like, there were 52 weeks in a year. Out of those 52 weeks, only 2 days out of those weeks, like you're almost guaranteed like a day off. Like, that's what, 110, if my math is right. It's probably wrong, but 110 days out of 365, 110 days, that's over 200 days your life revolves around your job. And I don't know if you're human or not, but on average, the human person, you know, we live maybe around 70 years. And we get into the workforce like around like what, 25, 24, something like that is when like you know, if you graduated college and you're doing all that stuff, it's oof. That's rough. That's rough. So there's like this whole like, movement, and like one of the movements that I saw is like the 4-day work week, where people are looking at, you work 4 days, but you work 10 days, in those 4 days. And, there's been some studies, and although there's varied like success with these, I don't really know how valid these studies are, because some of the results were employees wanted to get back to work. They didn't like the 4-day work week because they were so anxious to get back to work. I don't know about you, but when I get off work, when I clock out of my job, I am not thinking about my job. I'm thinking, holy crap, I need a beer. Like, that's insane. And if you're someone like that, look, unless you're somebody that like you are like a research scientist, and you're like your life revolves around your work, and maybe if you love your job like to that point where you just want to keep working because that's what you do, more power to you, dude. But for me, like, I'm gonna be the guy who's like, I like to have my freedom, okay? Work for me is not going to be my life. It would be something where it would help me survive to the next day. I don't know, but that's just me. But anyways, so the studies were done, and some of the results that they did is, or not that did, but they got, is that the employees or the employers, they focused more on the health of the workers comes first. And so this resulted in higher retention rates, lower burnout, and happier employees. And I mean, this was varied because like some people were trying to do like the whole like 4-day 10-day thing, 4-day 10-hour thing, and it worked for some, but it didn't work for others because you get like the human brain for that long. Totally understandable. I mean, when I was active duty, like, we did maybe 16-hour days, and we were just checked out by that 8-hour mark. It was just, I don't even know why we did it. It was so insane. It was stupid. It didn't work. We weren't doing anything anyways. But anyways, so like I get that, but the companies that actually focused on making sure that their employers' health is the number one concern resulted in higher productivity, because the people actually ended up like, they worked their jobs more. Like, they wanted to actually like be with this company, so the retention was higher. And so what does that mean in the long run? Every single time you have to train a new employee, that's at least 2 months, 2-3 months of lost productivity. Because it's not just them. Like, you can have the most experienced person in the world, and at the end of the day, if your company uses a different system than what they are used to, that's lost time that they have to train, and that's money that's being wasted training. And so if you're able to retain the employee, I mean, that's insane profits right there. And the lower burnout, like, come on, like, if you have a burnout rate, like, look, BioWare's burnout rate was so brutal. People would literally just not show up. They would end up getting like mental burnout, or like anxiety break vacations, or whatever they called it. I forgot what they called it. But they would just not show up. And why would you? Like, why would you go back to an environment like that? It's insane. So what are people doing? Like, what are the alternatives? If they can't get like the perfect employer that does the 4-day work, what's their other option? Well, the other option is don't have an employer. Like, the other option is sites like Upworks, Freelancer, Fiverr, stuff like sites like that. Fiverr, for instance, like, by 2020, they've noticed a massive increase in freelancing. People are looking for a different type of like way of life. Like, they're looking for something different than the regular 9 to 5. So over half of people are considering it for full time instead of just temporary work where it's like you're laid off from your job and we just want a couple bucks. But then what ends up happening is that they end up liking it. They end up seeing the freedom that they're getting, and the results that they're getting. Them, it might not be good at first. Like, let's be real, Fiverr and Upworks and all of them is really the race to the bottom until you get those 5 stars. Then it's the work comes to you. But pretty much people get that taste of freedom, and then why would you want to go back? Why would you want to go back to the employer? That's insane. Why would you ever consider that? And so they've actually noticed, and bear with me here, this is Upwork stats, so of course they're gonna write stuff that's more in their favor, because I mean it's their industry. Like, why would you not? Like, I have the best ice cream. Come to my parlor. I swear it's the best. I make it the best. It has the best cashews, the best walnuts in the world. So of course they're gonna they're probably gonna jack up their numbers, but whatever, it's fine. It basically gets a sentiment across, and let's be real, like, we've all seen it. Like, people know the fact that if you're somebody who knows what Upworks is or Fiverr is, like, it means it's getting up in their popularity. There we go. Jeez, did I become American? Anyway, so one of the things that they said in like Upworks in their stats, and I found really interesting, is over half of postgrads are looking for freelancing as their first job. And as someone who was on the prowl for, like, I ended up getting my degree, and for I think it was 2 years, I just kept looking for jobs, and it's like it got to a point where there were so many jobs where it was just one right after another was just, I need 5 years experience for an entry level job. Are you insane? Like, that's insane. Like, that can't be real. If you have 5 years experience, you're not an entry level employee. You know your shit, okay? Like, and so you have all these postgrads with these civil engineering degrees, with these graphic design degrees, with like all these different degrees, and they're looking at freelancing as not like as a means to basically live their life, but I honestly believe that they're doing it because they have no other option. And like, even now, like, you scour through YouTube for, like, for me, I'm doing like computer science, and it's like I'm scouring through YouTube, and it's like every single person is telling me, do a couple jobs on Fiverr just to get it on your resume. I'm just like, what? How is this a thing? Like, I'm supposed to get an employer to hire me in order to get experience. Like, that doesn't make any sense. But that's the world we live in now. We live in a world where people have to literally freelance in order to gain experience in their job instead of being hired for the job that they're doing. And so, I don't know. I saw this whole Fox News interviewing this whole AntiWork person. It was so ingenuine. Like, not ingenuine, ingenuous. I don't know what the word is. Whatever. It's so just like it comes in a way where they don't really care what it is. Like Fox News is always pro business every single time. Like it's almost like a broken record for them. So of course they're going to be anti-work. So for them to go up there and just not even ask questions, like the guy Jesse Waters, like his attention isn't to find out what these people are. This intention was literally just to mock this person. It was to mock this moderator, which it's sad with a guy. He ended up privating I don't know any updates, like current updates right now, but from when I learned about this whole story, the guy ended up like basically privating the subreddit, ended up like even even banning people. And I guess people were really upset that the guy who was basically supposed to represent their movement, he didn't really do a good job. And I mean, let's be honest. Like, I would love to go out there and say I would have done a better job. Like, I would love to have gone to gone up there and like basically be questioned by Jesse Waters. But I mean, I wasn't on the spot. I didn't have the idea where I was gonna have, you know, millions of people watch what I was gonna say. Like, that anxiety really gets to you. But that being said, I would have at least practiced for it. I would have gotten a couple buddies of mine. Hey, I want you to think about some questions to ask me about this, and I want you to ask it to me. And so I can practice it. It's literally like practicing debate. If you're somebody who's going to go on Fox News, literally a million viewer, like multi-million people are gonna watch you, and you're gonna advocate for your subreddit. You're gonna advocate for your movement. Be prepared. Don't wear sweaty. Do not wear sweaty, for love of God. Like, dress to impress. You're not going to prom in a sweaty. You're gonna go prom in, I don't know, I guess a suit maybe. I don't know. But anyways, I digress. This was really just, it was sad. It was sad to see Jesse Waters, like, you know, not really, you know, trying to question the guy. But then again, it's Jesse Waters. He has a bachelor's in history. He doesn't have a bachelor's in economy. He doesn't have a bachelor's in business. He doesn't have a bachelor's in engineering. He has a bachelor's in history. And he is putting down a guy who wants to be a professor of philosophy. His ambition is to be a professor of philosophy. Okay. What's wrong with that? He wants to teach philosophy. You know who taught philosophy? Socrates and Aristotle. So, I don't know. Food for thought, man. Food for thought. All right. That's going to be it. If you like my little rant, it really bothered me. So, you know, I'd love to hear what you guys think, because Jesse Waters really bothered me, this whole thing. Especially when, you know, if you look at the data, it's kind of, things are moving one way. So let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to, you know, do all the things, like, subscribe, whatever, all that stuff. But yeah, see you later. Bye.